Seahawks Sam Darnold gets honest about oblique injury after Super Bowl win over Patriots. The Seattle Seahawks closed the 2025 season with a definitive statement, defeating the New England Patriots 29-13 in Super Bowl LX at Levi's Stadium. It was a win built on defensive dominance, timely offense, and toughness at the quarterback position. Only after the confetti fell did Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold reveal just how much he had been dealing with physically during Seattle's playoff run. Darnold played the final 2 games of the season with a painful oblique injury, one that could have sidelined many quarterbacks at the most critical point of the year. Instead, he pushed through it, helping guide the Seahawks to a championship and adding an unexpected but powerful chapter to one of the NFL's most unlikely redemption stories. Before the Seahawks postseason even began, Darnold appeared on the injury report with a left oblique strain that he suffered during a practice on January 15th. At the time, the listing didn't draw much attention outside Seattle. Oblique injuries are notoriously difficult for quarterbacks as they affect rotational movement, throwing mechanics, and overall comfort in the pocket. Still, Darnold practiced, started, and played without public complaint. After the Super Bowl, however, Darnold finally acknowledged how difficult the past few weeks had been. It wasn't fun by any means, Darnold told reporters on February 9th via ESPN. It was pretty banged up. I don't really want to go into too much detail because I don't understand why I would, but yeah, it hurt really bad. I think you guys can imagine a left oblique strain for a quarterback. It's not very fun. That brief admission shed new light on Darnold's postseason performance, particularly in the NFC Championship Game against the Los Angeles Rams. In that game, Seattle needed everything from its quarterback, and Darnold delivered one of the best performances of his career. He threw for 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, repeatedly attacking downfield and standing tall in the pocket despite the injury. Against New England in the Super Bowl, the script was different. Darnold didn't need to put up massive numbers, and Seattle didn't ask him to. He completed 19 of 38 passes for 202 yards, tossed 1 touchdown, and avoided turnovers. His lone scoring pass, a 16-yard strike to tight end A.J. Barner in the fourth quarter, effectively put the game out of reach and capped a calm, efficient performance. What made that showing even more impressive was the restraint it required. Playing through an oblique injury often forces quarterbacks to rethink their mechanics and decision-making. Instead of trying to make every throw, Darnold leaned into situational football, trusting his defense and taking what the Patriots gave him. Seattle's defense rewarded that trust with a dominant performance. The Seahawks suffocated New England's offense for most of the night, holding the Patriots scoreless through the first 3 quarters. They limited New England to just 79 rushing yards and consistently disrupted rookie quarterback Drake May, turning the Patriots one-dimensional early in the game. May finished 27 of 43 for 295 yards with 2 touchdowns, but the raw numbers didn't tell the full story. Seattle forced 2 interceptions, one of which was returned for a touchdown, and added a strip sack fumble. The Seahawks also recorded 6 sacks, collapsing the pocket and preventing New England from establishing any rhythm. Darnold understood exactly what was happening as the game unfolded. He didn't need to force throws or chase style points. He needed to manage the game, protect the football, and capitalize when opportunities arose. That approach reflected a level of maturity that had not always been associated with him earlier in his career. After years of being labeled a disappointment or a journeyman, Darnold's path to a Super Bowl title felt improbable to many observers. Selected 3rd overall in the 2018 NFL Draft by the New York Jets, he entered the league with immense expectations. Those expectations were never fully met in New York, where instability, coaching changes, and roster limitations hindered his development. Subsequent stops with the Carolina Panthers, San Francisco 49ers, and Minnesota Vikings only reinforced the narrative that Darnold was a temporary solution rather than a franchise quarterback. By the start of the 2025 offseason, few would have predicted that he would be leading a team to the Super Bowl, let alone winning it. Darnold never lost belief in himself, even when the league seemed to move on. Some people called me crazy throughout my career for believing in myself so much and having so much confidence, Darnold said after the Super Bowl. But it was because of my parents, because of the way that they believed in me throughout my entire career. And it allowed me to go out there and play free and have a ton of confidence. That confidence was evident throughout Seattle's playoff run. Even while injured, Darnold played with composure, command, and clarity. He made checks at the line of scrimmage, manipulated coverage with his eyes, and avoided the reckless mistakes that had plagued him earlier in his career. His willingness to play through pain also resonated inside the Seahawks locker room. Teammates consistently pointed to his toughness and steadiness as a source of belief during the postseason. While Seattle's defense was the clear star of the Super Bowl, the team never doubted its quarterback. Wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba emphasized that point after the win, praising the balance between offense and defense and highlighting the trust within the group. "Those guys were ready," Smith-Njigba said of the defense. "They've been ready. We know they've got our back. Defense wins championships, and they got one today." The Patriots, meanwhile, were left searching for answers. Head coach Mike Vrabel acknowledged that New England never found a rhythm offensively and struggled with field position throughout the game. "We couldn't gain any rhythm or field position," Vrabel said. "We've got to get into drives better offensively. Defensively, we've been really good against the run lately, and we weren't. We were just playing catch-up." Vrabel ultimately pointed to turnovers as the decisive factor, a reality Darnold and the Seahawks fully understood. By protecting the football and letting the defense dictate the game, Seattle removed any chance of a Patriots comeback. For Darnold personally, the Super Bowl win represented far more than just a championship. It was validation after years of doubt, criticism, and uncertainty. It was proof that his belief in himself had not been misplaced, even when circumstances suggested otherwise. The oblique injury, painful and limiting as it was, became part of that story. Rather than serving as an excuse, it highlighted Darnold's resilience and growth. He didn't chase individual glory. He didn't force throws to prove a point. He adapted, endured, and trusted his team. As the Seahawks look ahead to the 2026 season, Darnold's future will remain a central storyline. With a Super Bowl ring secured and a full offseason to recover physically, the quarterback now enters the next phase of his career with stability, credibility, and confidence. For a player once written off by much of the league, Sam Darnold's journey from uncertainty to champion is now complete. And fittingly, it ended with him standing on the biggest stage in football, injured but unbroken, holding the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Seahawks Sam Darnold gets honest about oblique injury after Super Bowl win over Patriots. The Seattle Seahawks closed the 2025 season with a definitive statement, defeating the New England Patriots 29-13 in Super Bowl LX at Levi's Stadium. It was a win built on defensive dominance, timely offense, and toughness at the quarterback position. Only after the confetti fell did Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold reveal just how much he had been dealing with physically during Seattle's playoff run. Darnold played the final